Hi, my name is Willie Thomas from Atlanta, Georgia. Good to be with you all here this morning. I got some things I would love to talk about. Talking about the things that we do as human beings here on Earth. One of the things we do that we are unaware of is a lot of things we come in contact with, a lot of things that we read and stuff like that. When it's something like parable, I'm gonna tell you. It's like the Bible. When the Bible is written in so many different type of parables and so many input of other people language in the Bible and stuff. And when a person read the Bible, they read it with their own comprehension. In other words, they read it just like they would read it itself. A lot of time the Bible need an interpreter to interpret the things for them, because number one, certain things they might get right and certain things they might get wrong. And if that the case, then they misunderstanding the whole Bible meaning. Now, when I read the Bible, just from chapter 1 always through. I started at the beginning of the chapter and let it clarify and let it clean up itself. In other words, if you know the people who read the Bible, they jump on from chapter. They read a couple of verses and then I jump to another chapter, read a couple of verses and jump to another chapter. That way you know that they don't really understand what they're reading, because they're all over the book. When you read something, when you read a book, when you read instruction and you're trying to get the truth out of it and you're trying to understand it, you got to read it from front to back. You can't jump all over the book. You can't jump all over the instruction, because you might miss something that's very important. So you have to read it from the beginning all the way to the end. And that's how the Bible should be read just like a book. Since you got a lot of people who read the Bible who jump all over the book, that's why their comprehension of the Bible is terrible. In other words, the person who written the Bible need to sit that person right down there in front of them and explain it to them. Why did they say this and why did they say that? So that person should get some clarity. We have to notice every time we read something, we have to apply our common sense to it along with our intellect, because if we don't, we still reading this stuff and it's not being clear. In other words, it's not coming through like it should. It's not, your brain is not receiving the truth of what you're reading. It ain't about when you read a book. If you reading a book, which is the Bible, as you got to believe what you read. The first thing before you believe in something, you must got to understand the principles, the format. You got to understand the benefit and the consequences. Then with your own body, you got to figure out, is this what you really trying to do with your soul? You have to understand, when you enter into something with your own free will, this not talking about if you when you commit to the Bible, this not talking about you going in with a contract with another human being. You going in with you offering up one thing that these living gods then gave you for you to house, and it's your soul. It's your soul. You should know what you want to do with your soul. You should know the ins and outs. You should know if you do a format, if you commit to something, are you giving your soul to it? So many people say that I really believe in the Bible because if I don't, but what I got to lose for believing in there, if it ain't true, and I got everything to gain if it is true. You know, to me, that's the craziest thing in the world to say. It's almost taking a bullet, putting in the gun, playing Russian roulette, saying that I'm gonna spin it. My chances are, I got six barrels in this gun. I'm gonna put one bullet in it and I'm gonna spin it, and I'm gonna click it against my head. My chances of getting killed is slim to none because when I spin this barrel, 9 times out of 10, it gonna land in a empty slot. That's what you say when you say, I'm just gonna go ahead and believe in something without checking it out. You said, I'm gonna go ahead and believe in something because this was good enough for my mama and my grandmama. It's gonna be good enough for me. I'm gonna go ahead and believe in something because this sound like it's right. You know, you got to know 100% when you giving your soul with your free will to whatever deity or whatever religious belief or whatever you saying to the living God that I follow this, whatever it might be. And I'm saying that's what is dangerous. That's why I come on this YouTube channel to let people know what they're doing unknowingly. Me, myself, I follow the living God. My soul that the living God gave me, then I introduce myself to the living God, let them know that I understand what they're doing, let them know what I'm saying, understand what they're doing, understanding that they created the sun, the moon, and the star, understanding that they didn't write these biblical books and stuff like that for us to go by, understand that they didn't come up with no man-made religion for us to follow. In other words, if that was the case, it was no need for them to allow us to lie up under that beautiful sun. There's no need for us to walk on this earth and interact with all these beautiful human beings that the living God done made. So what I'm saying, I understand that. And by me understanding that, I offer myself up to them in righteousness. In other words, I got a code that nobody else have. The code is just strictly for me. It's like when I come out my mother's womb, that's one part of the code. When I get a human date of birth, that's another part of my code. When I receive my biological name, because I was just like these living gods, because I came from there, I didn't have a name. I had to be appointed a name once I arrived here on earth. So once I get that, my biological name, that's another part of my code, and whatever state I reside in. I get those 4 things right there, and I introduce myself to them with respect, with love, understanding the things that they do and the things that they control and the things that men and women control here on earth. Understand the living God never made hunger, never made poverty, never made guns and weapons to destroy their human race. Understanding these things, never came up with all these antidotes for all these different diseases. Understanding what the living God had already had put an immune system in us to fight off everything that our body might come in contact with. Excuse me. Understanding these things, that what the living God have done, then once I understand that, I say, I see what you all have done, both male and female. I, Willie Robert Thomas, since they allowed me to come to earth and get a name, I introduce myself to them, let them know when I pray, I'm calling on them in my name. In my name. Not pumping myself up, not saying I'm better than no one, but I have the right to call on the living God anytime I get ready. They gave me the right. They gave me the right by allowing me to exist here on earth. I don't never want to take none of that for granted, and I don't want to tell nobody how that they can find the living God on their own. Maybe the living God showing them something else. I know with that code, nobody in the world come like nobody. And I know anybody who do that, they can always have a personal relationship with the living God. They can always have their own personal relationship. You don't have to know about history to know about the living God, because the living God been here with us our whole entire life. So I don't have to know about what Christopher Columbus did in order to contact this living God, because this living God been with me my whole entire life. The living God give me the power and the ability to contact them whenever I get ready, as long as I do it in a respectable manner, which I want to do, which I don't want to say things and mislead the living God people. I don't never want to tell somebody this is a prescribed way to go, like people who written a biblical books and nobody never followed them instruction to the end, and we was able to see the manifestation of that. Can't nobody say, nobody in the world can say that that stuff worked and tell you the unadulterated truth. Only thing I'm saying, I'm going to put my soul, the living God gave me my soul, I'm going to keep my soul and take it back to where it came from. Came from the living God, I'm taking it back to the living God. So, my name is Willie Robert Thomas from Atlanta, Georgia. I had to share some of that stuff with you all. I hope that it helps someone in a way that, it make common sense to them, what I'm saying. This is common sense. It's just like people always want to know what got here first, the chicken or the egg. They always want to know that, always. With your common sense, which one you say who got here first, Only thing I'm saying, to me, nevertheless, I might not know which one got here first, but with my common sense that the living God gave me, I'm gonna find out what the chicken do, and I'm gonna find out what part the egg play, and then I'm gonna respect that from here going forward. Sometimes things that ain't for us to know, the living God didn't want us to know it. That's why sometimes we're not gonna know it. And we can't think that a man or woman here on earth got the answer if the living God don't want to reveal that to us. We also have to apply our common sense on that. Just like their name. We don't know their name. So we have to apply common sense that we don't know their name. So before I follow a man say the living God name is Jehovah, before I follow a man say the living God name is Yahweh or Yahshua or Yahshua or Yahshua, or however they said, Buddha, Baal, Allah, God, Jesus. Before I follow that way, I continue to follow what the living God allow me to see with my life. Allow me to see what is right with my vessel. Allow me to see the danger in following that, The living God didn't create me to follow idols, being idol worship. New idol worship coming into play each and every day. It coming in the name of Jesus, in the name of God, and all that stuff. We have to watch out. What I'm on this YouTube channel, I'm saying not following nobody. I'm saying depend on what the living God put in you. You offer that up. Are you following somebody when you offer yourself up? That's what I don't understand with people. They don't think that they done did so much things here on earth, living a human way of life. They think that they is rotten to the core. They feel like that they can't offer up their self as a as respect to the living God, to acknowledge the living God, that they know them and they know how they exist. They feel like people done made them feel so bad. They feel like when they do that, they disrespecting the living God. And that's not the truth. I'm gonna show you something. When we come down here, we are human. What we taught, a human way of life. What everything we do, we doing as a human being. Are we gonna make mistakes until we get it right as a human? Of course we are. Once we get it right, then we will understand. We will come into the profile, knowledge, and understanding of what we need to do as a human being to be the best human we can be. That's all we can do. Be the best human we can be. Ain't nobody walking around in this flesh. It's spiritual. Ain't nobody walking around spiritual. And if a person is walking around and they claim they're a spiritual person, well, guess what? They being possessed by these other spirits here on earth. Ain't went nowhere. Because they're lost, because they follow other deity and they trying to possess something that's alive. So if a person got a spirit in them, surely they not acting on their own. They're possessed by something else. It's not of this world. Okay? I'm just trying to let you know. We as human beings, we was created to be flesh. And that's all we can be. Now, let's be the best human being we possibly can be while we're in this flesh. I like to end it on that note. Keep subscribing to my channel. Share this with friends and family. Hey, my name is Willie Thomas from Atlanta, Georgia. Thanks. And may the living God bless you. Bye-bye.